How about you count down to 1? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna laugh doing it. 3, 2, 1. OobiCast.
OobiCast.
It,
We're synced.
then it sounds delayed on my end. I don't think it matters. I think we're both on
It doesn't
track.
matter.
Okay.
You know what? We're in. We're in for it.
We
Okay,
are.
we're gonna start.
We're starting.
Hey
now?
everybody, and welcome to the OobiCast. You talked over me.
Shit. Yeah, I did.
You talked over me. Why'd you do that?
It's my fault.
That's
It's my
that's
fault.
Joshy. That's Joshy, and he sucks. And this is the OobiCast.
Oh shit. We're okay.
We're it's a little embarrassing.
That is. I
Way to
do.
start.
I feel a little naked right now. I can't lie. So.
All the Oobi fans watching right now, just
Yeah.
watch that
And
blunder.
this
That
is
first
and this is
entrance
our
you made. You fumbled.
well.
You fumbled.
Shit. Yeah, that's pretty.
Am I gonna carry this one tonight?
I think so. I'm not on my A game.
Well,
Clearly,
that was an embarrassing introduction.
we don't gotta
Welcome
keep
to the
saying that.
OobiCast. It was embarrassing. You should feel ashamed. Welcome to the OobiCast, everybody. We're starting over. This is it right now. We've been working on this for a while now. I'm Mike, and this is Josh.
Mike,
Joshy.
I'm
I don't know.
Joshy. Mike did came to me with the idea, and I it was a true strike of genius, more than I've ever heard in my life.
It was. So I'm a fan of Oobi as one as one normal awesome person is. And it was a show on Noggin about a hand, and he has a sister and a friend, and they live with their grandfather, and they have a lot of fun. And you know, Joshy over here does not. He's a Oobi.
I'm a
He's a
total
little.
Oobi newbie. That's what
Yeah,
we
he's an
like to call
Oobi
our
newbie.
Oobi
Yeah. So if
our
you have
Oobi
an Oobi newbie,
newcomers.
bring them on, because we're gonna get the Oobi train going. This is the revolution of Oobi. We're starting the first episode. We should probably talk about what we're gonna do in this podcast, and that's discuss Oobi.
I
Of
mean,
course,
yeah, and
we
so the totally legal DVD copy you lended me. The first episode was Camp Out, but I checked
yeah
IMDb, and it said that was the start of season 2.
yeah good. Hey, that's a great discussion point. We can talk about how Oobi started. Give a little Oobi history.
Okay.
Um, so it's called season 2 because when Oobi premiered, it was a series of shorts and that aired between commercial breaks. And so a lot of Oobians, a lot of Oobi historians out here, they
Okay.
like to consider the full length show season 2.
All
And you
right.
know what? We're not going to do that just because it'll make the episode list look a little weird having episode 1 be season 2. But maybe we'll talk about the short someday. But for now, we're going to start with the first full length episode, Camp Out. This is a pretty exciting time to be an Oobi fan. So Josh has never seen Oobi at all. So I'm getting him into this, and we're gonna go through every episode in order. We're gonna talk about it, and just how Oobi resonates with us.
I'm very excited for this endeavor.
Yeah, me too. So this was Camp Out, and so we both watched this one. We watch these episodes before we record,
Yeah, I watched it on my
and
own. Yeah.
so yeah, on our Ubi Blu-rays, Paramount Plus paid memberships, not archive.org. Do not search archive.org Ubi full episodes because you won't get anything. There's nothing there. You have to legally buy Ubi.
Yeah,
Okay,
that we
give
like
the
to call
Ubi
you Ooby
give them
boobies.
royalties.
You Ooby pirators out
Yeah,
there, you're Ooby boobies.
yeah. And your little Ubi pirate ships, don't pirate Ubi.
Come
What's
on
wrong
now.
with you?
Come on now, not Ooby now. Come on.
You got to give the Ubians their royalties. They deserve it. Anyway, let's talk about Camp Out.
Camp Out,
So,
I gotta say, I'm just from episode 1, I'm already in love with this show. I mean,
oh yeah, like it did a good job of like introducing the
for
characters
sure.
and like there will be more stories in the future that get into more of like more character drivenness. But
Okay.
in terms of like involving the main cast as a whole, it does a good job of introducing you because obviously they're all going camping in the backyard. Grandpa's there, and Keiko and Uma and Ubi. And so you've never seen the show before. You watched this one, so tell me, what did you think?
I mean, from the get go, the when the are they called Ubis? Is that their race?
There's no race of Ubis. They're just because U. So no, there's Ubi, right?
Okay.
And he's just a hand. But I don't. There's no like classification. Like you'll learn more about Ubi race theory as we get into the show. It's in season one actually. No, if you know, if you know, you know, Frida. But I won't spoil anything further. Um, I
I'm
guess. I
excited.
mean, they're. I mean, they're not humans, but they've never been called like hands.
Okay.
But there's Ubi. You know, there's no. It's not like a race thing.
So what am I to refer to these characters as?
Hands. There's
Hands?
nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it starts out with the hands, and they're pretty hilarious, if I might say. They
Yeah.
start chanting camp out, camp out, camp out, and they're very excited to camp.
Yeah. They go camp out,
they
camp out.
yeah, they but then they move to their tent, and they have these like psychotic uh drug ravings of camping activities. They're just chanting and screaming
They are on dopamine.
up just
Lots of it.
up and down the walls about all these camp activities. And Grandpoo is kind of the mediator, which I appreciate about this so far. Ubi's kind of
He's
strung
head of
out.
circus.
I mean, I like Ubi, but
Yeah.
he's a pretty crazed lunatic.
This was a pretty it was a pretty shameful introduction to Ubi's character because while Ubi's supposed to be the middleman in this episode, he really it seemed like he was taking a back seat from that position because he was very scared of camping out.
I think by the end he redeems himself as a character. I'm not gonna spoil it, but
Let's not get to the end
yeah,
so
yeah, I know, I
fast
know,
though.
I
Yeah.
know. But
I agree. I do agree.
so I also want to ask, what are the names of all the characters and how to identify them?
Okay. So Uma is Ubi's little sis,
Okay,
and Keiku's his very best friend Keiko,
Keiko.
and Grandpoo loves them all.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
Keiko
know
has the red beanie.
Grandpoo and Ubi. So
Grandpoo has that clenched jaw because he's kind
okay,
of old.
so we got Keiko, and what was her
Ubi
name again?
Ubi Uma
Keiko, Uma, and Ubi, and Grandpoo.
and Grandpoo.
Okay, I think I got a hang of it.
Ubi theory. We'll discuss this one day. When you get old, your jaw just clenches inwards. Because I mean, what like because like you know, it's like Grandpoo kind of has like
Yeah,
his mouth is
kind of
his
get a
thumb
slot.
and not
Yeah,
like the palm.
okay.
What's going on there? But anyway,
They
they these
they're demented little creatures. They kind
there's
of
some
yeah they just waddle around and kind of start wreaking havoc wherever they might find.
yeah, they rave, they scream, they shout, they do a whole bunch. They're going camping tonight, guys. This is camp. This is camp
Camp
out. The
out,
first
camp
episode.
out.
They exclamation mark. Don't forget. They're very excited.
There's an
I remember.
exclamation mark.
Grant. Yeah,
Oh, I missed that.
Grandpoo. So Grandpoo's like pitching the tent, and they're all excited, and they go outside, and Grandpoo's got three activities planned for him. He goes sleeping in sleeping bags, roasting marshmallows, and telling ghost stories.
that tent
And
bit,
and
that tent bit at the start. I'm starting to cut you off short, but that is genius with the
go ahead.
hands.
That was hilarious, honestly. When when Grandpoo when the tent fell over and then the first activity ended up being making the tent
Yeah,
again.
I couldn't
That
believe
got a
my
huge
eyes. That
laugh out
was
of me.
like a caveman fire moment. Like that was like inventing the wheel. That was inventing the
Yeah,
Oobi
yeah.
wheel. I was kind
Ubi
of
is really
taken.
changing the
Yeah, I
definition
was
of
taken back
comedy.
a bit. That was impressive.
My heart skipped a beat when Grandpoo said the funny.
But then
But anyway,
they
they ate
yeah,
marshmallows.
they like kind of grotesquely start just
They're just squishing it between their
yeah, just
palms. It's like
slopping
because
on
like
these this they look very paste like. I don't even know how to describe the consistency of the marshmallows. They look very
white.
disgusting though. Not to diss
You
Ubi's
could
marshmallow game, which I know a lot of people take very close to home, but I mean, come on.
yeah.
I
I
don't.
guess you can say the marshmallow game wasn't on fleet tonight.
Yeah, I I don't like usually taking headshots like that, but I mean, he's got to get it on track.
But they were reasons here because remember when they finished eating their marshmallows, it was time for ghost
Yeah,
stories, and
ghost
this was
stories.
when
That was
the real narrative drops in because this is
oh
Ubi. This is when we start to realize that Ubi's a little scared because the ghost stories Grandpa was telling, it was very like
yeah, that
it
was
got me on my
shocking.
seat,
Yeah,
right on the edge. When he just made that noise, when
I
he
gotta
just like
say,
when
yeah,
all he did was make a noise, that just was like ooh.
this is not a nighttime episode. If you're easily frightened, I'm sorry. As a first Ubi episode, I really want to suggest this to you, but if you're very easily shaken, this you might have to sit this one out, Ubi fans.
Nickelodeon had a lot of like this being
A
the
lot of
opener.
gut,
Just that
yeah.
was yeah, Nickelodeon Guts. That was a show. But yeah, the ghost story. I actually remember it by heart. He goes ooh.
That it
It's
never
pretty
leaves you.
scary.
Yeah, that ooh never leaves you,
That
man.
never leaves you. Ubi freaked out. He was like he that was when he had his little freak out. He was like stop it.
Yeah, you could see
Like
it in his
Ubi
eyes.
stop. Yeah.
And then
But
Grandpoo suggests they all sleep together in the tent. I
yeah,
mean,
they go to sleep and then but noises, the sounds,
by this
remember?
point, yeah, by this point, most I feel like most kids' television shows they kind of take pity on their audience. You have stupid toddlers and you're setting them in front of a television set, and you're just like, oh, we have to introduce all these characters. But Ubi kind of thrusts you into its universe. It's a pretty genius television show. It doesn't have these massive title cards and theme songs. It has its little opening
These
jingle, but
characters
yeah, you kind of
these characters are not one note.
of course, yeah. You immediately get a feel and sense of their being the second you invest yourself in the show, and
Yeah,
it's
I
very
really felt
impressive.
that too.
Yeah,
So Ubi's in his little sleeping bag. He's sleeping away, but he hears the noises of the night, and I can't blame him. I'd be pretty scared too if I was living in a world full of talking, walking
lots
hands, and
of
I'm hearing
ghouls.
sounds
Yeah,
outside. So, but he wakes up Grandfu, and they go outside, and they show him the cat and the other things, but it's just sounds. That's what Grandfu says. He goes, just sounds. Classic Grandfu. Always
Grandpa,
knows how to
he's
comfort.
he is. Yeah, I really felt that from the second he came on screen. He is such a comforting and kind and caring,
Gentle.
yeah, gentle mentor to Ubi, and I really appreciated that about him.
We we don't know the backstory of Ubi's real parents, and honestly, the fact that we don't know anything almost makes it all stronger. You know how Grandpa is just there, and you know Grandpa is just a fantastic person, and he's a great character
I
too.
agree.
I just I could go on and on about these wonderful characters. Like talking about Keiko, that's a whole other can of worms. I love Keiko. We'll get into him eventually, guys.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
just from this
So
episode alone, I'm very excited to see how these characters will grow and develop with each other because I feel like just
yeah,
from this episode alone, like we got far, like we got really far, and I'm excited to see where
when
the show takes us.
when Ubi and Keiko put their lips over each other's other lips and they made a tent, that was friendship. That's a relationship anybody would dream to have, and that's just the way it is.
Man, it could almost drive you crazy with jealousy. I mean,
Almost. It's like I just want to like put my own hand in that TV and make a friend, you know?
Yeah, I really felt that as well.
Well, well, they ended their night. Ubi felt comforted by Grandpa, and that was fantastic. And Ubi got to go to sleep, and they camped out. And oh, one scene that I really have to
Oh yeah,
mention
the hand puppet scene, is
is
that what we're
when
talking about?
no, this is the scene uh when Ubi is comforted, he goes back to bed, and Keiko wakes up and checks on him. That's such a subtle moment that
Yeah,
it really shows all the integrity in Keiko's character.
man,
That he checked on his friend. He made sure that he was okay and he was gonna go to bed.
what? Wow, that kind of
It's
I'm taken aback right now. That's integrity.
it's really genius writing, and I would have loved to been in the Ubi writing room trademark. Just to see, like what these geniuses were thinking writing this episode. You
Yeah,
know,
he's such a respectful and hilarious character in the show. I
and we're just getting started. You haven't seen. You're not even close to the peak of Ubi Mountain yet.
I I can't even fathom.
So that that's about they go to bed happily, and the episode ends. They had a great camping trip,
Oh no, we didn't.
and I gotta say,
We still
what
didn't mention the
what
hand puppet scene and the children scene.
you're right. The shadow
The
puppets.
the shadow, the
I'm
hand
such
puppets. That I'm dead serious. That was actually that's a genius moment. I mean, their hands
that yeah.
and they're going. That's such a man.
When Ubi
I,
made the horse, I was blown back. I actually didn't know what that was at first. I was like, what could this be? It was a
yeah,
horse.
that caught me off guard too.
These writers, they're like, the Simpsons and like Futurama, they always joke about how like oh, we have like Harvard and Yale writers. Yeah, okay, well Ubi, um
We
they
got
got
noggin writers. Okay, come on.
yeah, Noggin University, Squidward Community College writers right here. These guys are smart. These are smart fellas, and I hope they're doing well. I hope they're continuing the right wonderful stuff, like
I mean,
like
of
the Ubi
course,
horse moment.
after the you gotta have a big career ahead of you. And the way
Like
they directed the kids too, and the following scenes, I really it was a really a tender moment in the an already very heartwarming episode.
imagine being big Hollywood and getting a resume thrown on your desk, and you open it up and it says writer Ubi.
Oh,
I'd be like, get this guy a movie deal. This is he's gonna make blockbusters.
I I'd be speechless.
I'm speechless just
Yeah.
thinking about it. I love Ubi. What can I say? That's this podcast catchphrase. We love Ubi. What can we say? We should say it at the same time on the count of three.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm,
One,
2, 3.
two,
We love
three.
Oobi. What can we say?
We love Ubi. What can we say? That was great. Good, good, good.
That
Anyway, when Ubi talked to those kids, it's like I can't imagine growing up and like looking back and being like I spoke words to Ubi.
that
And
is
one thing
such a
you'll learn is that they do
privilege.
this in
Yeah.
every episode.
Every episode, really?
They have a
Wow.
conversation. Every episode they have conversations with the kids. And I wish I could just be there right now having a conversation with Ubi. If he was
I'm in
right next to me,
conversation with
that'd be
Oobi and
that'd be
those
wonderful.
kids.
What were they? They made a tent. I
I
remember.
I remember that.
I remember
Yeah.
they made a tent.
I remember the kid was giving a testimony of sleeping in his household during the night, and how that darkness really kept him up, and that fear of the unknown. And that really was a
Yeah.
thought provoking scene. And it, again, everything about Ubi is very subtle. There's a lot of nuances that I feel like even on a second rewatch I might pick up on, and I'm very excited to see where this show take, because from a 10 minute just a 10-minute runtime, they got that much done. I mean,
They put so much in every episode. It's like very very quality stuff here. This is if this isn't television, then I don't think television ever existed. To be frank.
wasn't Oobi the first television show?
Yeah, I think TV was invented with Oobi. I think Oobi came bundled with TV.
Okay, because I think I saw that somewhere
In the history of history books, yeah, he's there. If chapter like
on
28
the
Oobi, chapter
TV
12 is probably
branded
like
TV.
Jesus or
Yeah,
something. Maybe chapter 15 is the Pilgrims. Then you flip it a few decades, and then chapter 28
yeah.
is Oobi.
I love Oobster.
So good episode. I mean, if I had the rank Campo, I mean, because here's the thing, for you, you're gonna love it. You might give this a 10 out of 10 even, but for me, someone who's already seen this show, the entire thing, it's almost mid in a way.
Really?
Like here's the thing, Ubi's lows are like probably on the same level as the Simpsons
Okay.
highs. If it's this, you can quote me on this 100%. It's true. I mean it. It's serious. No, this is not satire. It's true. But that being said, there's better
Okay.
episodes, way better. So I want your rating first, and then I'll say mine. So out of let's say out of five Grandpoos, what would you give the episode Camp
Okay.
Out?
I mean, personally, this is my first introduction to Ubi, and this rating might drop as I go, but I gotta give it a five golden grandpoos out of five. I
Oh, you gave Golden Grandpoos. That's
that
big.
I mean
That's big.
that's I can't say anything. I'd just be tripping over myself at this point. I mean it's
Yeah,
the
I
perfect.
understand. You just throw your Golden
Yeah,
Grandpoos and you
I'm
run away
speechless
because you
almost.
you you don't even have to explain yourself. I get it. Me, I might have to give uh maybe like four base Grandpoos. And you may think this is a controversial opinion, and I would agree it's absurd at first, but by the end of the series, when we finish the podcast and we go through all our rankings, you're really gonna understand like why I gave this episode the
Okay.
ranking I did.
I mean, four grandpoos out of five. That's still a pretty. That's a above average rating. So I don't have too much of a problem. If
I
you were to give
understand.
this like
No,
a
I get it.
three, then I might have to interject. But you know
I enjoyed it a lot. Four is
that's
safe.
a that yeah, I agree.
So this was our first episode. This was the pilot of the OobiCast, and I just want to say I hope you all enjoyed it, and we're gonna have a lot more fun coming up. We'll do episodes when
A
we
lot more
feel
fun
like
and
it.
jokes.
It'll be it'll Yeah, next episode is Uma Swing, so stay tuned. This is an Uma episode. You would notice there wasn't a lot of Uma conversation this time
Yeah.
around. She just didn't have a huge presence in the episode. She was there, but not to the extent of next time.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have my final say, in that this was a lot of fun, and we'll see you around
All
next
right.
time,
Sweet.
everybody. You go,
Yeah,
Josh.
I'm so excited. I mean, it's an honor to be able to express my joy of Ubi.
Yeah, we love Ubi. What can we say?
We
That's
love Ubi. What can we say?
don't
We love
forget.
Ubi. What can we say? That's our catchphrase, guys.
Yeah, that's our catchphrase. We say it twice now. We're gonna have guests every now and then. Just stay tuned. I'm gonna pull some strings, and we're gonna get some good people. I bet if I with my nice and polite emails that I will be sending to
Very
people.
nice and polite. And
That
I'm
that's
sure these
that's
might be
my
some
that's
newcomers that you guys haven't heard of, but they they there's old and newcomers. There's some new people on the block that we feel like you
Yeah,
really might
old Ubis,
appreciate, though.
new Ubis, and I don't want to give anything away, but I think we'll get some notable ones too. Notable Oobi interviews
Okay.
maybe, but I won't give too
Yeah.
much away. So we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys then. But for now, this was a good opening, and it was nice to meet all you fantastic Oobi
All you
listeners. And
little
hey,
Ubi boobies.
one more thing before I forget. send some questions. We'll do a little Q&A at the end of every episode. Have some
Definitely, for
fun.
sure.
Have you guys get to know us more. And maybe we'll this is just a test episode to see how it goes. I'm sure next episode and longer we'll have longer episodes, more non-Ubi discussion even, because we're a couple of funny men, have funny things to say maybe. But this was great, and Josh, I'll let you close it off.
Uh, Oobi Looby. Woohoo!
Yeah, wahoo! All right, goodbye everybody.
Bye.
Bye, 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 Ubi, bye.